The new year means some new laws go into effect here in California. Joining us this morning is attorney at law and corporate advisor AnneElise Goetz. Good morning to you. And this happens every single January 1st. We're ready for the new laws, I suppose.
All 873 of them. We're trying to get ready at least.
Okay, so that's a lot to go over. Maybe there's just a few that are really going to be important to us, starting with the driving law.
Yes, I think the biggest one that we're going to see went into effect today is that you can now send, receive, and listen to text messages while driving, so long as you have a hands-free voice-operated device, such as Siri or Google Now. But there's a lot of pushback. It's getting a lot of attention federally, and different states are looking at it and questioning whether it's a safe measure. Okay,
so hands-free. Don't you have to, I mean, to use Siri, you have to like touch your phone.
That's the problem. So the theory was, I think, you're looking at it more in the sense of car manufacturers have this new technology and they want to be able to implement it, and where you can talk into the vehicle, and it's all hands-free. But at this point, what we really have is Siri and Google Now, and yes, there is some touchscreen aspects to it, and as a result, you're going to be looking down from the road. And I was at a dinner party last night, and we started talking about it. Across the board, all the drivers are saying this is just not a safe thing to be doing.
Well, yeah, and so for all intensive purposes, when you get on the road today, think probably how we did in 2012, right?
Yeah.
So you don't get in trouble?
Put the phone on another seat. Don't text while driving. It's just not safe. Even if it is the law, it's not safe.
Okay. There are straight from headlines laws that are going to affect us here in California. Explain those?
Sure. I think it's interesting. California tends to be at the forefront when it comes to new laws, new legislation. The country, the world responds, and they watch what we're doing. And in response to some of the major legal headlines of 2012, we now have we have a law that's in response to the Jerry Sandusky scandal. So now coaches and administrators are required to report any suspected sexual child abuse. This obviously is in response to Jerry Sandusky, where we did have a lot of coaches that were under the assumption that there could have been something going on and didn't report. There is now a duty to report any kind of suspicion. And any parent that has a child knows that coaches have quite a bit of interaction with your children. So it's been the case for teachers for quite some time, but it's nice to now have the coaches.
You'd think that would have already been a law, but it's nice to know that it is now.
It's unfortunate, though. It's a reactive measure, but what's important is now on the books. And another important law that we've seen is everyone was watching the Casey Anthony trial, and people were upset with her acquittal, especially in light of the fact that she waited a full month to report to authorities that her 2-year-old daughter was missing. So we now have Kaylee's Law, named in honor of her daughter, that requires parents and guardians to report a child missing or if they're deceased within 24 hours.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's good news for us here in California. You want to talk about the landlord versus renters new law? This is interesting.
It comes into play a couple different places, but again, at the forefront, California has enacted the Homeowners Bill of Rights. And although it deals quite a bit with mortgage foreclosure and loan modification, and it's very, very important for homeowners, it also helps renters in that if you're living in a home and it's foreclosed on, then you have the opportunity, once that new owner takes possession, you have 90 days before that owner can have you leave. Because what usually happens is you have renters that have been paying their rent the entire time and have no idea that this property is in foreclosure. All of a sudden, there's a new owner and they're telling them to leave.
And they're stuck.
They're stuck.
Okay.
So we've seen that, and then we've also seen, as of January 1st, you got to make sure you get those carbon monoxide detectors in every apartment building. So the landlords are responsible for putting them in. Tenants are responsible to make sure that they are maintained.
Okay, so we covered like 5. We've got like 859 more to go, right?
Right. And there are some other big ones. We've got gun control issues that have shown up. And what I think everyone should do, there are quite a few. We've only hit a couple of them. There's a great webpage, www.leginfo.ca.gov/new laws. Most of these are going to affect as of January 1. So you need to get out there. You need to know what's going on because you can be held accountable.
Well, good to know. Thank you so much for just giving us some of the highlights, AnneElise. Appreciate your time today.
Thanks for having me, and Happy New Year to you.
Thank you.